SAG-I magazine is not the greatest content creator for Elite Dangerous. SAG-I magazine is the greatest content creator, I think, as far as I've ever seen, for any video game ever in my lifetime. They are amazeballs. They are to be revered. So big, huge salute and lots of love. The episode today had a very cool, comprehensive history of the Thargoid War with lots of different viewpoints and like historical facts and information on it. There was a special on FPS plasma weapons that had some very cool information that I don't think is widely available for a lot of people. That is stuff about like the sniper rifle for the plasma sniper rifle is absolutely amazing. So it is super legit. In addition to that, there was information, as Tweak said, about the Admiral Vincent trial, which is the whole Halsey, event where she was on the ship that sort of exploded or whatever in Witch Space, and then she came back and she said that she was with the caretakers of the galaxy, and her information, for those who don't know, she was like, go to this location, go in this direction, go over here. You're going to find something. You're going to find proof. And this is years ago. Players went out and looked in that direction, and that's how they discovered the Guardians. And, was it the Guardian AI or the Guardians that she found? I think so. We can't prove one way or the other, but it's super compelling and interesting. In addition to that, Sovereign did an interview with Aramis Kamzel, and if you don't know who Aramis Kamzel is who I want to be when I grow up. That guy is, I think, one of the top three, like, if you had a Mount Rushmore, if you had four faces carved into the side of a mountain that sort of represent the best of what Elite is, Aramis Kamzel would be one of those faces. He is the originator of the Galactic Mapping Project, one of the founders of FleetCom, he was the originator and one of the main forces behind Distant Worlds 1 and 2, and one of the organizers behind Distant Worlds 3. He is the sort of one of the main organizers of the DSSA. At one point, he ran the Children of Vraxla. This guy is sort of in all of the best ways, with none of the negative connotations, he's sort of the Forrest Gump of Elite Dangerous, and truly a hero. And I would want to be him, except for I will never be that classy. I'm just a fucking Marine. But he is just amazing people. And if you have not sort of heard his story and heard his whatever, Sovereign brings it out and they discuss it in a way, and Sovereign frames it before the interview even starts in a way that is amazing. You need to know this guy's story. They did a spotlight on Bering Port in the Coalsack Nebula. That is a super cool spot and interesting, and kind of, I think, more like, it says it's a spotlight on Bering Port, but if you pay attention, I think it's really more talking about the nature of our expansion into the Coalsack Nebula and what that sort of means for the game and things going forward. And in a first, there's a new segment that was debuted, What I Fly. It's a new series that is going to be a semi-regular series where they interview a commander and they talk about, like, what ships do you fly and why? And they had Commander Gambit from Frontier on. So interesting stuff, amazing, top-notch. Whenever I play SAG-I magazine on my I have an iPad that is mounted in my car that is for podcast / downloading YouTube streams and whatever, because I drive an inordinate amount of time for my work and I keep track of the entire sort of Elite Dangerous galaxy that way, content creation wise. I always, other podcasts, I'll play it, listen to it, and move to the next. SAG-I Magazine, every time I play it, and as I'm playing it, I click the save button so I can go back and re-listen to it. You should as well. So that was issue 35 that dropped today of SAG-I Magazine. Those were all of the different sort of segments. Guys, who has what that they want to hop in and comment on?
Just quick, I'll add in, I mean, the artwork in this thing is just gorgeous. This is like, they used to call it like coffee table book stuff, like things you'd leave out for guests to look at because it's so beautiful. And the Starship One story, I've heard bits and pieces of that story. I'm a relatively, have only been playing a little over a year, and I've heard bits and pieces of that story. This is the first time I was able to listen and look at something that explained it soup to nuts and it made sense. So thank you for that. And I did not know who Aramis was. And then looking through the list of accomplishments, like I've interacted with, I don't know, 85% of what he's done, and some of the stuff was before my time, but everything that's still there, it's improved my experience of the game. So that was really cool to hear about that.
Oh, by the way, just because he's got so many, this one slipped my mind to mention earlier. He was one of like 4 or 5 guys that was the founders of Colonia. Like, yeah.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah. Like amazing stuff. All right. Tweet, what do you think about this?
I think it was great. Today's episode was great. Not just the Starship One story, but the detailed information about the DPS of each of the hand weapons and all that. I found that a great listen. It's just, I can't suggest enough to anybody hearing our voice right now. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you find Elite Week, find SAG-I, because you won't regret it. It is the best top-notch content you can get.
Don't just find it, subscribe to it. Wolf.
Absolutely.
I love the SAG-I print. I remember when I got started, I went and read all the back issues. It was just amazing to learn so much so quickly and just presented in an amazing format. I'm really, really glad to see it's back, quote unquote, in print. Haven't had a chance to look at the new issue, but that is happening tomorrow.